There's a lot of Sims 4 expansion packs and they're very, very expensive. And in my personal opinion, you do not need all of them. It's better to just pick and choose which one you want. So today I'm giving you my thoughts on which packs are good and which expansion packs are bad. The first expansion pack Get Together, I'm putting it in the middle category. I don't care. This is probably an unpopular opinion and surprising for me too, because I would have originally rated this pack very highly. Don't get me wrong, Get Together has an amazing world. I think it's really great for builders too, and I previously really used to love the club system where you create your own custom clubs in the game with other Sims. The only problem with that now I find is that Sims 4 Townie AI just seems to be getting dumber and dumber, and I honestly don't know how it's happening, but it is. Sims 4 Sims are just not good at interacting with other Sims outside of the household. I don't know if it's to do with the way the game's coded or what. I'm sure you already know if you try to go to any community lot, it just doesn't work very well. I truly feel like The Sims 4 is built for your single household only in mind, and interacting with other Sims in other households, especially in community lot, seems to be just something on the back end which doesn't work in the best way. Don't get me wrong, I love the clubs feature, and I'm sure if it was introduced in The Sims 2 or The Sims 3, this would have been a really great pack concept. But with the way The Sims 4 has just been changing over time, it doesn't really facilitate group gameplay that much anymore, in my personal opinion. And I just find I'm using the groups feature less and less, and I enjoy it less and less. Get to Work is going to go into Like It. Now, originally, I probably also would have made this pack a lot higher on the list. The reason why is because I just think live careers do make The Sims 4 feel a lot more fun, and Get to Work comes with 3 main live careers, and it comes with the retail system, which I just feel like adds a fun new way of making money in The Sims 4. And I just feel like the game is so boring when you have the career rabbit holes instead of actually going to your job. Although over time now, other packs have introduced live careers, or there are rabbit hole careers, but you have the option to work from home and do live aspects of a career, which is very similar to a live job. So I just feel like it's getting a little bit outdated now in terms of its use and its gimmick. And again, the retail system, however much I do really love retail gameplay in The Sims 4, it is a little bit buggy, I will be honest. If every single one of you was a PC player who used mods, I would have put this into Need It. And the reason why I would have done that is because a lot of different mods actually require Get to Work, especially the career mods. If you do own Get to Work and you're on PC or Mac, trust me when I say there are so many incredible live career mods that you can use. With all of these mods, it takes you from the basic 3 live careers to potentially like 5 to 10 live careers, depending on how many mods you have. I just feel like it makes such a big difference, and that's why I'd say I like it. And for me personally, I need it as a PC player, although I know not all of you are PC players, that's why it's just in Like It. The next expansion pack, City Living, is going into Like It. Now, this is my favorite Sims 4 expansion pack of all time, so you might be surprised again I'm not putting it in Need It, although again, the Sims 4 meta has changed. Don't get me wrong, I really like the idea of starting my sim in an apartment and working their way up. As I said, the Sims 4 is not really built with group outings in mind, let alone multiple Sims in the same household. I just feel like the idea of starting as one single young adult sim in the city and then working your way up through a career, and then when they're ready to settle down, have a family, whatever, you move them into a vanilla suburban world. And I just feel like City Living starts off as a really great starting point, but again, I just feel like the pack has gotten a little bit outdated over time in terms of its gameplay. Don't get me wrong, I do really love the pack. I think it's very fun. I just feel like the for rent system, when it works, is actually a little bit more fun than City Living, because with City Living you can't be a landlord, you can only be a tenant. It also doesn't really come with like tenancy rules or lease agreements, and I just feel like For Rent expands on the whole apartment living thing a little bit better. And of course you can make your own apartments in the game, you don't have to be stuck with the default ones. I just feel like it makes it a little bit better compared to City Living, and now that pack's out, I just feel like City Living is just a bit outdated. Next up we have Cats and Dogs. I'm pulling this in bad, please don't hate me. I know everybody loves cats and dogs. I just feel like the way it was implemented was not very good. It was very clear to me when the expansion pack was released that all of the budget went on the cats and dogs cast itself and not really anything else. I didn't really feel like the gameplay was there. There's barely any gameplay with cats and dogs. You can't control them, so they just autonomously go off and do their own thing. And honestly, whenever I play with cats and dogs in my household, I just haven't really noticed them. They've just been kind of something that scurries past the screen every now and then, and you've got to remember to feed them, but they just don't really do anything. There's barely any gameplay there actually for them, which defeats the whole point of the pack. The only kind of good thing is the veterinary career, although the vet's career in this pack is very, very glitchy and broken, which again defeats the whole point of it existing. If it doesn't work, it may as well not exist. I just don't feel like it's a very good pack. The next expansion pack, Seasons, I'm putting in like it but not need it. Now, most people will put this one in need it, and the reason why I'm putting this one in like it is because, again, it seems to be very neglected and outdated. When Seasons was first announced, it was the only expansion pack to not come with a brand new world, and the reason for that is it's supposed to affect every other world. And for the first few packs, it made sense. It snows in 2 out of 3 base game worlds and some of the other worlds too. Although in the last few expansion pack worlds and game pack worlds, it doesn't actually snow in them. Now, my personal theory is EA can't be bothered to code in snow for the newer worlds, so they just keep giving us hot maps. The For Rent pack comes with a sunny world, a hot world, so does Horse Ranch, so does San Sequoia with the Growing Together pack, so does Tartosa with My Wedding Stories. A lot of the newer worlds are suspiciously hot. My theory is they can't be bothered to add snow into it. Seasons just seems to be affecting my game less and less, especially now also the calendar is in the base game, which was previously locked behind that pack. Also, the gardening overhaul that came with Seasons doesn't work very well because gardening is broken in The Sims 4 and there's no indication of it actually being fixed. So I honestly highly doubt it will ever be fixed. The only thing I like about Seasons is the holiday system, but again, I just feel like holiday sometimes, especially if you're in a long legacy gameplay or you've played The Sims 4 with Seasons a lot, it just gets very, very repetitive over time, and I'm just not really enjoying Seasons that much anymore, which is really surprising me to say. I'm dropping Seasons down to the middle category. I don't care anymore. That feels very unpopular. You're all gonna hate me. Yes, you are. I just feel like Seasons is just not worth it anymore. That's my personal opinion, especially now we have weather effects in so many other worlds. The next expansion pack, Get Famous, is going in bad. And again, even I'm surprised putting it there because I really, really like the idea of having a celebrity sim. I do actually find it quite fun. The reason why I'm putting it in bad now is just the impact it has on all of the other packs and all of the other worlds. Get Famous will wreak havoc on your game in terms of cross-pack play, and that's because celebrities will turn up at any lot anywhere. If you were all PC players and you all played with mods, then I probably would have popped it in I don't care, jumped it up, and that's because you can get certain mods which stop famous townies spawning unless it's a celebrity hotspot lock trait, but not all of you do, so I'm leaving it in bad. Celebrities will ruin any other gameplay aspect from any other pack if they turn up on your lot, basically, and they will guarantee turn up every single time. It's just an absolute nightmare. Also, the way that fans and paparazzi work, even if you play as a celebrity yourself, I feel like it's fun the first time, but after you do it like again and again and again, it just stops feeling fun anymore. And that's a shame because I like the concept. I really like the live career, the acting career too. But again, I feel like they didn't go far enough. Why a live acting career? Why can't you be a famous singer, a famous guitarist, a famous model, a famous anything else, a famous influencer? Well, you kind of can, but not really. I just feel like it doesn't go far enough. The next expansion pack, Island Living, is going in horrendous. The first horrendous one. There are many reasons why I don't like island living. The first one is that The Sims 4 is just not built for it. The pack comes with new kinds of boats, but you can't really ride them anywhere because The Sims 4 doesn't have an open world. It defeats the whole point. A pack concept like this does require an open world, and in The Sims 3, the Island Paradise expansion pack I thought was pretty cool. It came with hotels. It came with the ability to take your boat anywhere, including to some secret hidden islands. There was actually a lot more gameplay. It even came with a lifeguard career. It was very cool. It came with underwater scuba diving. The Sims 4 Island Living doesn't actually really come with that much new gameplay. It comes with kind of a career, which is like a conservationist. Well, it is technically a rabbit hole career with some live elements, but it's not really that fun. The interactions that you have on the beach, like building a sandcastle, are not that fun. Mermaids are very limited and they barely do anything at all. The beachside lots that you can build are very limited in terms of what you can turn them into. There's just not really that much you can actually do with this pack. I just really feel like they didn't go far enough with it. And if you think about like The Sims Vacation, for example, a Sims 1 pack, that came with 3 vacation worlds. A sunny world was just 1/3 of it, and that came with a little bit more gameplay in my opinion. I just feel like they did not take it far enough and it should have been a game pack. In fact, there is actually some evidence suggesting that it was originally meant to be a game pack instead of an expansion pack. Obviously that's just speculation, but the reason why is because the original box artwork for Island Living looked like game pack box artwork back then rather than expansion pack, but obviously just a theory, but it makes sense because it just doesn't really come with that much. Discover University is going into I don't care. I actually like the idea of sending my sim off to university. The issue I have with it is that it takes a very long time and it's very tough. Not tough in a fun, challenging way, but more so tough in an annoying way. Despite the fact that it's all about living in a dorm with other sims, Townie AI in university is particularly dumb, even more dumb than just regular Townie AI, which wreaks absolute havoc on your game. I just feel like the bugs and glitches kind of ruin the experience a bit. In general though, I do actually find I play with this pack a lot. I like the idea of sending my sim off to university, and I do play with a lot of mods in order to make the university experience a lot more fun, but I know not everybody does. I feel like it could have been implemented in a bit of a better way. It doesn't feel like it was implemented that well, and a lot of the features feel kind of meaningless, and I feel like it should have had a much bigger impact on careers, although it does at least have some impact, which I do really like. I think it's a fun escape from careers because the only thing to do in your Sims day is go to work. Having them go to university instead, I think, is a fun new break. And if you like the idea of it, I don't think you'll regret it. I just think you'll get a little bit flustered playing with it. Eco lifestyle is going into bad. This tier list is looking very bottom heavy right now. Not like me, because I've told you guys I'm not a bottom. I just feel like eco lifestyle was not implemented very well. I think the idea is actually really good, but the eco footprint gameplay is extremely difficult to understand. It's not really challenging in a fun way. You don't actually have to do anything that impactful or meaningful in order to change your eco footprint. I just don't really feel like it was implemented very well. It's such a shame because it's such a cool idea. It's just the implementation, especially the world as well. It's actually quite nice looking. It's just there's literally nothing to do in the world, like literally nothing. It's awful. I feel like they could have taken the pollution thing a lot further and they could have given the pack a lot more ambition. I just feel like the lack of ambition and the lack of meaningful features that actually make sense is something that really holds this one back. Snowy Escape is another one going into horrendous. For similar reasons to Island Living, I don't really feel like it comes with that much gameplay, and the gameplay that is there wasn't implemented very well. You can ski down a slope where you follow your sim doing an animation of them skiing down, but you don't actually ski. Like, it's not that deep. Skiing was previously just integrated into the seasons packs of previous Sims games, but of course in The Sims 4 it's its own separate thing. Skiing and snowboarding is just new animations but not new gameplay in my opinion. It's exactly the same with the rock climbing thing. The pack even introduced walking as a brand new feature where you watch your Sims walk around, which is just such a silly gameplay feature. This is not a major feature of the pack. I mean, come on. Don't get me wrong, I think the world is actually very beautiful and I like that we have a snowy area that doesn't doesn't require seasons for it to snow. I think it's really great. I just feel like the gameplay wasn't there, and it should have just been a minor part of a general vacation pack with a sunny world and a winter world and another world, like they did, for example, in The Sims 1 and 2. Next up, we have Cottage Living. I'm putting this one in Need It. Now, not every single person needs to have this expansion pack, but if you like the idea of having a farm, running a farm in The Sims 4, Cottage Living does make that quite fun, in my opinion. This is one of my favorite expansion packs for The Sims 4, and that's because it actually changes the way you play. Most of the other expansion packs in the game don't really change the way that you play that much, but I feel like Cottage Living does. It brings in this whole new gameplay style of actually trying to survive by yourself, because it comes with the simple living lot trait, which means you can't just buy food from the fridge. You actually have to grow it yourself or go to the farmer's market in the world. You can create your own produce with the animals, and you can also gather materials to use for other things. I think if you're getting a little bit bored of The Sims 4 and you're looking for an entirely new way to play, I definitely think Cottage Living will bring that. And owning farm animals is tough in this game. It does run a lot like a farming game like Stardew Valley, and that your whole Sims life literally revolves around their farm. And I just think it's something new and unique that we've never really seen before in The Sims 4 before. We're probably never going to get anything this good again. I just really, really love it. High School Years is going straight into horrendous. I hate High School Years with a passion. Simmers have been begging ever since literally The Sims 2 to have live schools where you actually go to school with your Sims. And finally we got it in The Sims 4, and the way it was implemented was just very sloppy. All of the gameplay features were very oversimplified. When you actually go to school with your Sims, they don't really do anything. When they sit in class, there's actually no interactions available. There's literally like nothing you can do when your Sim sits in class. You just watch them perform an animation of them sitting on a desk pretending to write notes. Sometimes Sims will miss class due to a bug and you'll get a detention, although there's often a bug with the detention where they don't even go to detention. Prom is every single week in game, and so are final exams are every single week in game. The world comes with a big outdoor field or like a stadium, but you can't actually do anything in there. It's pretty much unusable. The high school itself is very, very ugly. It comes with a thrift store / bubble tea shop, which doesn't really do anything. It comes with a fashion designer career, which was not implemented very well at all. It comes with incredible oversights. The pack comes with Social Bunny, a messaging app, which doesn't need to exist because it's so pointless. Everything about this pack is so pointless. It's like they give you what you want, but they give it you in a way that you don't want it, which just ruins it. Growing Together, this is so unpopular. I'm putting it in horrendous. The whole point of this pack is it was supposed to come with different kinds of gameplay for every single life stage. You grow through every single life stage together with your family, although it just doesn't really come with anything. It comes with a tree house that you can build as a family, and it comes with changing tables where you can change your infant's diaper. The fact that that's locked behind a pack is absolutely absurd to me. The actual world itself looks like Willow Creek, but there's nothing to do in there. It just doesn't come with any gameplay really. It came with milestones, which is just a glorified achievement system. I've always said, and I always will say, Growing Together feels like a base game overhaul. It doesn't really feel like an expansion pack. If you're looking for a generic overhaul of the base game in order to make the vanilla base game feel a little bit better, then by all means get Growing Together. I certainly don't regret putting it in my game, but if I had to be careful with my money when choosing a Sims 4 expansion pack, I definitely would not choose it because it's just so unimpactful. Again, very, very unpopular. You guys tell me what you think about that, but that's just my opinion. Horse Ranch is also going into horrendous. Horses are incredibly buggy and glitchy. As well as being buggy and glitchy, they basically don't do anything. They have nothing on horses in The Sims 3. I mean, Sims 3 horses were also a bit buggy, but The Sims 4 takes it to a whole new level. You can get them to trot around the world and you can get them to circle around barrels, but all of the gameplay surrounding horses is locked behind rabbit holes. It has absolutely no challenge. It comes with barely any features. The only feature other than horses is winemaking, which is not that in depth. You just watch your sim crush some berries and that's pretty much it. There's barely anything in this pack, literally nothing. This feels like honestly a game pack in my opinion, and I'm really surprised they upsold it as an expansion pack. There's just barely anything there, and the things that are there are broken in some way. The next expansion pack, For Rent. This is really unpopular. Oh my god, I'm popping it in Need It, and I just want to say I hate this pack with a passion. So you might be thinking, Satch, why on earth are you putting it in Need It when you hate this pack? To give you some background information, The Sims 4 For Rent is extremely broken. Every single gameplay feature of this pack is basically broken to the point where nothing works. If you want to work as a landlord, you can't because you don't get paid. EA keep trying to gaslight simmers by saying, oh, you are getting paid. It's just maybe not that clear with the UI, but you're definitely not getting paid. I'm assuring you right now, you won't get paid with this pack. Some people do. They get paid every now and then, but I personally don't. I did a whole Let's Play series of this pack, and I did a pack review where I played with it in an entire year. In my pack review, I got paid once, and in my Let's Play, I think I got paid twice. It's very temperamental whether or not you actually get paid. The landlord and tenant events which come with this pack are also broken, and it's a 50-50 chance if they actually work or not. Most of the time they don't really work at all. If you break tenant rules, then you probably won't get fined, and if you're a landlord, you won't receive the fine. The only redeeming quality of the pack, the thing that I really like, is the fact that you can have multiple households on one singular lot. This is the only thing I like about this pack. For me personally, The Sims is almost like a build simulator for me now because the gameplay just isn't there. The only thing I like doing in The Sims 4 in my free time is building in it. I like the idea of building my own custom apartment buildings in the game. I really, really like it. I like building maisonettes with like an upstairs and downstairs apartment. I like the idea of building trailer parks in Oasis Springs. There are so many build concepts and build ideas that you can finally do with For Rent, and that for me is the reason why I personally need it, because I love The Sims 4 as a build simulator. I absolutely hate the gameplay that came with For Rent. Absolutely atrocious. However, the actual building itself is fun, and if you're just living a normal sim life, and sometimes you might see your neighbors come out of their apartment building, and if you have a communal area, they might do things in the communal area, and in that way, it makes The Sims 4 feel a lot more alive. That's just why I like it. It makes the game feel a bit more alive if you're living in an apartment or you're building them. All the other features are trash, but for me personally, I just find that so fun. That's why I use it. You guys are gonna hate me. As you can see, my list is very bottom heavy, and I just feel like as The Sims 4's got worse over time, that's the reason why. You let me know what you think about this tier list. If you haven't seen my recent Sims 4 stuff pack tier list, then make sure you check that one out because the meta does change over time. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one.